It's wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute out today.
Same, Joe. It's lovely to be here, and thank you. Thank you for accepting my request.
Yeah, yes, sir. So let's get into it. You're the possibility guy, and I want to know before we get into that. First and foremost, living through COVID was quite a
Yeah.
thing. It created so many levels of change in all of us. How did you make it through that time period? Are you still feeling the effects of living through that now?
Oh, absolutely. I think for sure it was not one of the desired thing what humankind should have, but then it gave, uh, being that possibility guy, I always look on the positive side of the life. I think first I'll talk about in general is that it gave every one of us to just hold back and look what happens when we are not running every day. How can we manage our life when we have to just sit idle, sit with yourself, sit with your closed ones? And it created a lot of impact to everybody's life. So I love this question. I have been watching your episodes,
Yeah.
and this is your favorite go-to question, as in I totally enjoyed it. For me, again, it was challenging because there were a lot of things going through. Still blessed to be here because I lost few loved ones, and it was miserable looking at all the stories all across the world. Minnesota was on fire, which I was really not expecting. A very civilized place, but people were going crazy out there. For me, I had started my business just a couple of years back, and the biggest challenge was I had to make sure that nobody loses their job. So that is a story for us where we just sat down with all my 20 people, my all my employees, and made sure that, hey, how can we get take a job cut or a salary cut? And everybody volunteered for the salary cut, and we made sure to navigate through that time. In fact, just after 2 months, we offered all our clients that we'll work free for you. The reason being, I was anyways paying my employee and we were sitting idle, we were getting scared. So why not to just work, even if it is with for no money? And our client loved us. Say that, would you do that? I said, yes, why not? Because we want some engagement and it's good if we have some positive engagement. And that was one of the beautiful stories that came out, and we still celebrate that. All my 20 people are still with me. So quite proud of it. On the personal front, I was going through some, challenges with my marriage. So divorce was on the verge, and then suddenly the COVID happened. So a lot of kind of challenges, a lot of drama in between. So it gave me a very different perspective of life, and I think I'm consolidating all of them and now trying to write a book around it. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's
that is,
wonderful. So let's get into the heart and soul of what you do right now as a
yeah,
CEO.
yeah,
I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of grade school kids. They're
yeah.
third graders, 10, 11-year olds. It's career day, and one of the kids wants to know what you do for a living. How do you answer them?
Okay. That's a difficult one. Let me try. So I'm somebody, I call myself as a life explorer. I want to understand every facet of life and I want everyone to, make maximum out of the life, being alive. So that's what I bring it into the business and that's what I bring it into all my teachings.
So talk to me a little bit about what you wanted to be when you were around 10 or 11 years old, when you were a kid. What was your dream life?
Honestly, when I was 10 or 11 years old, my family was going through a lot of financial crisis. I had no clue. I had no clue. I just wanted to bring my family out. I just didn't want my parents to compromise on everything. Any money is spent, and they were really struggling with my education. So my only priority was to make sure to give a very good lifestyle to my family. By the time I was teen, I was pretty kind of curious about the life, how things evolve. And that's what I am on to it now. I think I have taken care of my family well, and now I'm moving on to the path which I really love to be in. So,
So talk to me about the early seeds that were planted into you to be a CEO, to be the possibility guy, to take care of your people. How did all of these things get harvested and grow into who you are as a professional?
thank you. Thank you. I love this question. And I hope I would do justice because the question is pretty deep.
Yeah.
So for everyone out there, I think uh, life teaches you in many ways. Um, we are more than 7 billion people, I think around 8 billion, and all of us are so different from each other. All of us represent a system because our bringing, our nationality, our religion, our some of the other man-made concepts are different. So for me, it was surprising to see people that when you are poor, how you are being treated, when you are fair skinned, how you are being treated, when you belong to a different country, different religion. So I was pretty curious right from the childhood. And I made sure my simple mantra or the simple formula of my life was that, hey, I would continue doing things what I like. What I like something like. So if I'm talking to Joe, if I like something in Joe, I'll just try to do it. But if I do not like something, I would make sure that I never do it. And that was a very simple thing that has continued and stick to me. And till now, that has taught me to be a good professional, to be a good a child, to be a good colleague, and now a good CEO. So.
So, talk to me a little bit about your professional trajectory, your timeline. How did you get to this point where running a
Yeah.
company and being in this capacity? How did this happen?
Stories, life is weird. That is the one line. And I didn't let any of the professional degree define me. So initially, because as I said, financial crisis was one thing that was defining me. I was on education loan. And right in US, everybody is quite familiar with what education loan is. So I did my engineering. So for 12 years, I was onto a corporate. I used to work for bigger companies. I traveled all across the globe. But then, as soon as I had some money, I wanted to have my own business where I can really treat people nice. I could create a company where whatever I have learned, I could give back. One of my teacher, when I was a teen, he told me something that try to be somebody who can, employ at least 20 people, so that you can be proud of. And I love that. It stuck to me. So that's why 12 years I was into corporate, enjoyed thoroughly. I always tried to be a very honest and very good employee. And after that, when I started my company, that's what I've been doing. I have like five partners. It was pretty difficult, but then I took a 4 BHK house. We stayed together for 1 year. They were all bachelors at that time, students. And I made sure to teach them everything, whatever, and try to make them a global citizen. And that's how the company started. For 3 years, we didn't hire any employee. And then since then, now we are more than 25 plus, but it's a very happy place to work for. People love us. There are people, as in, they have started as a, from the college graduate and they're still with us. So that's how my career has been. And now, since last 2 years, I'm taking up a role of a coach. So I'm doing business consulting and writing books. So it's on.
Yeah, for sure. So, who has been kind of an inspiration in the business world for you? Has there been a business model that you've tried to kind of tailor your business after?
I'm not sure talking about a person, but yes, there is a brand in India. It's called Tata, Tata. They are well known in Indian continent for a very ethical business. They do have some branches outside, so they are globally present. They have recently procured that Land Rover, and so they have done pretty. They are pretty big now globally. But the way they do business is very ethical. The social influence is their prime motive, that if they are doing any business, they make sure that there is a positive impact to the people, to the society, to the children of the family. When I joined my company, I made sure to join the same company, the Tata Group of companies. I was there for 12 years. I learned, I really admired the way they used to take care of their people, even though there are more than 7 lakh people across the globe, which is like 700,000 people. But still, they maintain the quality of the life. So that's what I'm pretty admired from these guys, and hoping to create something positive.
Yeah. So, in your life, who's been kind of that hero, that role model for you that's inspired you to do all of this good work?
Honestly, that's a very difficult question for me. Not any one individual. Basically, it has been bits and pieces. And what has really kept me calm is that really not having that person. Because now I see every individual as a human being, right? Every human being has their own positives, but their negatives too. So I never wanted to follow somebody blindly. I never had somebody, yes, if there is a professional, if somebody, good at business, I learned some business tricks from that person. If somebody is doing pretty good in the health side, I learned some good habits from, if I find somebody who's very mature, I try to learn something. So it has been bits and pieces. If I really have to take one person's name, it would be my mom. because right from the childhood, whenever we were struggling, she made sure that I never compromise on my values. She kept teaching me that these things would go. Money is the cheapest commodity, so don't worry about it. But your values, that will stick to you and that will get people respect you. So yeah, that's how my journey has been.
So, what's the best advice you've ever gotten?
Sorry, what is the best?
The best advice that you've ever received?
Okay. Yeah. So it was one of my school teacher. He said that Kundan, it's good that sorry, this was the point. He said that Kundan, I tried and still I tried to be the nice guy who could include as many people as possible. So there was a time and he said, Kundan, you can't satisfy everyone. You cannot please everybody. And but he said, hold on, this is what everybody says. But he said that, unless you try, you can't satisfy. At least when you are trying, you could do 99%.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people because of this, they stop trying even to please and then they're left alone. So I'm glad that you are trying and please continue it, making sure that you are not suffering in the process. So I think that has stayed with me. Yes, today also I'm not able to satisfy 100 people, everybody around me, but at least trying, make sure that I do justice to most of the people around me. And it's a lovely feeling.
Yeah. So, let me ask you this. At the end of the day, how do you balance all of this? Being in charge of all of your employees, doing a
Yeah.
great job with your company, but you have to evolve as a human being and take care of
Yeah.
yourself. What is your
Yes.
motivation every day to be at the top of your game overall?
It's actually my people. So there is a policy in our company that every 2 years you have to make your senior or the person you are working for redundant. So you got to learn everything within 2 years so that this person feels the heat. And same goes for me. So there are four people who report to me, who are like my immediate partners. And every 2 years they have to take everything what I'm doing it today. So then I have to evolve myself and evolve myself onto the point that that's how I'm writing a book. I'm working on my personal brand to set right examples for them. So I believe in creating leaders, nurturing leaders. If they do things, I am forced to evolve myself. And that's how I like every day I talk to them and I get very happy if I see anybody doing better than me. So that kind of elevates me because honestly, many a times I see people finding it very hard to evolve from the feeling of others getting success on before them, right?
Yeah.
And that has been my motivation. That I don't know, somehow I have nurtured my brain as such that if I see somebody successful, I really feel very, very happy. So that is one thing. And the second thing is that I have my own metrics. I try to compete with myself. And the one thing I always say is that money never controls my decision. So that's my superpower. I never change my decision based on money. I love money. It's a great enabler that tells me that how useful I am to the society. But then not money cannot decide for me what exactly I'm going to do. So those are certain things that keeps me little, that gives me the edge, and I keep evolving from there on.
So let me ask you this. The thing about being an entrepreneur and being in
Yeah,
charge of a company
yeah,
is that there's a lot of risk that goes into it, even before this
absolutely.
job. What has been the
Mhm.
biggest risk that you've taken professionally?
Oh, the biggest risk for me was working with five partners.
Yeah.
Trust me. It's even though there are a lot of studies around talking about how the companies fail because of funding, because of sales, because of tech, and I don't know, so many things, but there is no study I have found which talks about that most of the businesses fail because of people issues. And it could be, the game could be different in India and America or Canada or Europe, but trust me, there are a lot of people issues that goes behind. And it was a tough challenge for me to look to take five partners. But then, as I said, I never wanted to get stuck to one business. I took it as my challenge. And since then, we do not have something kind of a very innovative. We are not working on a like hot technologies like AI or deep tech or a deep data. So that was it was very important for me to create those leaders. So for first 3 years, it was very challenging for them to nurture the mind that hey, you can trust people. You can really work for the bigger goal. You can really think as a global citizen. It was very challenging because there were a lot of ego issues coming in, but I think things are pretty sorted now.
Yeah.
So.
So let me ask you this. If you had a dream tonight, ran into a much younger version of you, say 18 years old, and you could give that young version of you a piece of advice based on this life you've led, the wisdom that you've gained, what advice would you give that young version of you?
So I think for everything, I give a lot of time for me to think through. I should have done it quicker. I should have started throwing out my ideas, writing books, putting my messages out there quite early, because there's a lot of people who need your help. And if your intention is right, and if you are somebody who thinks yourself as strong, if you have that attitude of give away, and if you are somebody who understands, who can take care of people around, I think you should really come up. You should really talk to people, and you should really present yourself at the service of people. I think I started quite late. I should have done at least 10 years before.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What has the journey to writing a book been like? Is it difficult? Do you love writing? How has this process been for you?
Honestly, no. Anybody listening to Joe's podcast, he's a brilliant guy, and anybody listening to him, please listen to this carefully. If you feel anywhere stuck, or if you feel like writing a book is your passion, or if you ever dreamt of, you can just reach out to me. It's very easy.
Yeah.
The moment you have the intention to give, if see for the same action, the intention could be to give or to take. So for example, coming to this podcast, I can have an intention that, hey, Joe is somebody who will market me and take me to the people. This is something I'm trying to steal. There is something I want to take away. This is not how life works, but suddenly you get very powerful when you want to give. Okay, the hesitation goes. You know that you are something at a powerful state.
Yeah.
Similarly for the book, if you are thinking that the book will make you famous and you'll earn a lot of money, if you just want to take away things, trust me, it won't happen so easily.
Yeah.
There is some game with the intention, but the moment you come from a point to give that, hey, I want to share my knowledge, my story, my art, my wisdom to the people, and to the all core, I really want to make it best available for people. Things start falling in place. You find right people. It is difficult for the first 6 months to 1 year. Life tests you whether you are honest or you're just trying to fool the world. So there will be difficulties, and most of the people leave the path within 6 to 12 months. But if you really mean it, get in touch with me. I will assure you that it's pretty easy. You just have to tell your stories, and it comes along.
So, of all of these things that you've accomplished and evolved into in your life, what are you the proudest of?
What is sorry? What is?
What are you the proudest of that you've done in your life up to this point?
Honestly, the best thing I'm proud of is that now I understand how life operates.
Yeah.
Now I can see how is the difference between man-made concepts like nationality, spirituality, or there are a lot of, sorry, not the spirituality, as in, if you look at it, the money, the companies, the nationality, there are a lot of things which is like man-made. Now, when you understand the game, how it all operates, it liberates you.
Yeah.
So I'm no more stressed. I could see what's happening in front of me, and then I am making sure that I'm growing as a holistic human, which I always talk about the 6 pillars. So I don't work just on professional well-being or emotional well-being. These are the 6 things I always talk about is that your physical well-being, your emotional, your financial, your professional, your social and relational. All these 6 things coming together makes your life amazingly wonderful. And I work on it, and I'm pretty proud of it that I could figure this out.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, let's get to exactly who you are. Everyone has an idea of who they think you are. Your
Yeah.
family, your friends, all of your employees, everybody that you work with, but you're
Yes.
in charge. What's your
Yes.
perception of you? Who do you think you are?
So, yeah, I say that in one line, and I've written this in my book also that, hey, you are the center of your universe, but don't try to be the center of everybody's universe.
Yeah.
I think we fail there once we try everybody to grab everybody's attention. For me, I think I'm just a very minuscule part of the whole human system. There was a time when I started hating humans for the being species who's trying to, run over and, in fact, spoiling the whole planet. But when I started looking deeper, I realized that being human is very hard, very difficult.
Yeah.
And that's why all my compassion comes from there. So, coming back to your question, I think I'm just one of you who's trying to create a healthy life, trying to create some good advices around people around me, and then leave a world which is better for the upcoming generation.
Yeah, for sure. I love that answer. So If we talk in 10 years from now, where do you want to see your company? Where do you want to see your professional growth go?
So I really want all my people to travel globally once so that they can see the world. Get the message out there that there are so many good ways to creating a business. So as of now, more than 80% of our business comes from revisiting client, which is a great comfort that I don't have to oversell myself. I don't have to. So for the next 10 years, I really want all my 20 people to behave like leaders, take the good message out, have a healthy life, and then money is just one of the criteria which will come along, I'm pretty sure.
So if anyone wants to reach out, they have questions, they anticipate your book, any of the good work coming out in your world, where can they go?
Okay. So talk to Joe. Now we are friends, so you can talk to him. All right. The second thing is on all the social media, I am well known by the name of Unbinary Kundan. It's Unbinary Kundan. So if you just Google it, you'll find everything about me. And I'm an approachable guy till your intent is right. If you really want to make something good out of your life, feel free. I would be more than happy to be available.
I love this. I love your energy. I love what you're doing. Thank you so much. Thank you for your story. Send my best to India.
Yeah, absolutely. And people are going to love this episode. So I'll make sure that it reaches to more and more people. And Joe, you are doing an incredible job. So I've
Thank you.
been watching your episodes and the kind of your background. Oh, I just love it. As in, what is this art about? As in, who created it? If
That's me.
I'm
I'm a
little
visual
curious.
artist.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, I have shows in Kansas City, and I've been doing artwork for probably 25 years or so now. But yeah, it's one of my originals. So yeah,
Awesome. So yeah, I'm sure if next time I visit US, I'll give you a call for sure.
please do.
And yeah, yeah. And I kind of when I was checking, there were some great episodes that you have put out there. I read about you, pretty influenced by you. So thank you, sir, for doing this great job of bringing the good stories.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I love your story. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. I appreciate it.
Same here. Have a good one, buddy.
You too. Take
Take
care. Bye
care.
bye. See
Bye
ya.
bye.